And for his take on that, I was joined a short time ago by New South Wales Labor Senator Mark Arbib. Senator Arbib, are you part of the disease infecting New South Wales Labor?
Well, we just heard Morris Yema's comments, and can I say, look, I think there's been a fair bit of rewriting of history in terms of New South Wales and the New South Wales government. Probably what Morris should do is spend some time self-analysing what happened over the period.
He's not the only person that says the party's diseased. Anna Bligh has said that in the past as well.
Well, just to finish, I think it's important that we recognise that there was a fight inside the New South Wales Labor Party for almost 2 years of the last government, and that was extremely unhelpful and one of the causes for the large defeat. I think everyone recognises that, but at the same time, if people want to continue that sort of infighting, then really you're not giving much of a chance to the new opposition. What we need to be doing now is focusing on where to next.
Were you a player in that infighting?
Look, I left New South Wales politics 4 years ago as the General Secretary.
You were a part of it for 11 years, though, prior to that.
I was, and I've been a senior person inside the New South Wales branch, and I take responsibility for my role in that. This was a fight over electricity and over privatisation of electricity, which is an extremely hard issue for the Labor Party. If you go to Labor Party branches, something like 95% of Labor Party branches are opposed to the privatisation of electricity. If you look at polls inside the electorate, 90% of voters are opposed to the sale of electricity. We tried in 1997 to get privatisation through the conference. It failed. Morris Yema tried again in 2008 and it failed. This is a very, very traumatic issue for the Labor Party.
But does that issue illustrate a point that a number of people have raised, which is that the party machine has too much power over the policy of the parliamentary party?
Well, what it illustrates on that issue is that the party is opposed and has been opposed to the outright privatisation of electricity.
But is the party machine dictating the policy of the parliamentary party? Has it been doing that, and has it been unhelpful?
If you have a policy and you have a position and you want to change the policy inside the Labor Party, you take it to the party conference.
But Senator, more broadly, there are members of the Labor movement saying that there are insufficient boundaries between the party machine and the parliamentary party. What do you say to that?
Well, I don't agree with that. The party caucuses both in New South Wales and both federally, they're the people who make the decisions in the end in regards to what happens.
So you don't think the party machine has an unhealthy amount of influence or sway?
I think that what is being claimed is overstated in terms of policy. I think policy is developed inside the government or inside the opposition, and in the end, the ultimate say on policy is the party members at the conference.
Have you ever rung a member of parliament and told them that if they didn't vote a particular way on a leadership ballot that they would lose the party's endorsement for their seat?
Not once. That is not something that happens inside the party. And
have you ever done it on a policy matter?
And if you try to do that, Lee, if you rang a party member and you said that to them, then they would vote against you. There is no doubt about it. They would vote against you just out of principle.
So what then do you think has gone wrong with Labor in New South Wales?
Well, there are a lot of things that have gone wrong. And it's a terrible result. Like, you can't try and dress this up as anything but a terrible result. The first thing is that this is a government that has been around for a long time. It's a 16-year government. They're asking for 20 years. That is a long time in politics, and you have to be doing an outstanding job to get 20 years in politics. There was a time when the New South Wales government took their eye off the ball, and there was infighting and there was instability. There's no doubt about it. In politics, division and disunity is death. And I think New South Wales residents felt that they weren't looking after them anymore. They're only focused on themselves.
On this point of throwing out the government, though, a bit of its time factor, I mean, that might explain a 6% swing. How does it explain a 17% swing? It has to be more than that.
Well, yeah, I'm saying to you, it is more than that. There's no doubt about it. Its time was a major factor, but at the same time as that, no one can doubt that in the last couple of years of this term, there have been very deep problems within the New South Wales Labor government. There is going to have to be reform of the party at every level.
And in what way do you mean?
Well, we have a branch structure in New South Wales, a local branch structure that is 120 years old. If you're a young up-and-comer wanting to be involved in politics, you turn up to your local branch and they're still doing the same agenda that we had over 100 years ago. They go through the minutes, they go through correspondence, they go through reports. Really, we're competing with some pretty strong social forces that is leading to political parties to struggle to retain their membership. We have to change the branch structure. There's no doubt about it.
If people at home are listening to this and they're hearing you talking about branch processes and procedures, and they're thinking, well, no, that means nothing to me. I was sick and tired of having to wait, 40 minutes for the train, and I was sick and tired of a failure to deliver on services.
I couldn't agree more.
And so how does that happen then?
Well, the New South Wales government, I don't think there's any doubt, and they're not arguing with it, and Christina Keneally has said this, they took their eye off the ball in terms of policy, in terms of actually delivering on the ground for New South Wales residents, and they had a fight. And in the end, they've paid the price for that.
You talk about the failings that have been there, the infighting, the failure to deliver services. These people who've been involved in this are all part of the same brand and the same organisation, that is federal Labor. How then do we trust that federal Labor is not of the same ilk?
Well, I have to say in all elections there are lessons, and I always take a lesson out of elections, whether you win or lose. And the lesson for governments everywhere is to not lose focus on the thing that matters, and that's the people, on the citizens.
The former Prime Minister Paul Keating famously said that where goes New South Wales goes federal Labor. Surely this result, particularly in your heartland, sounds an ominous warning for federal Labor.
Well, we've got work to do. There is no doubt about that, but we already knew that.
So you do agree then that the result in this election is a warning for federal Labor?
No, I think what the lesson is for everybody in this, you must be listening to the electorate and you must be working for them. That is something that we are doing. When you look at what the Prime Minister has been able to put through the Parliament, we are taking a strong stand there. We're getting things done. That is what we're about.
Did Labor make a mistake announcing a carbon tax in the New South Wales election campaign?
No, we didn't, and this is something that the Prime Minister and also Minister Combe have said. This is something we believe in. It has to be done. We can't wait. There's always going to be excuses why you can't wait. We're getting on with the job of delivering.
Did it intensify concerns around cost of living, though?
Well, I didn't see that in the campaign, and I think, Tony Abbott is trying to make the best of it. But if you look at the published polls throughout the campaign, there was no change in terms of the polling numbers after the carbon tax was introduced.
Well, they were going off a low base, but the former New South Wales Premier Nathan Rees says anecdotally he's been out and about in his own seat and that it did bite.
But he also said it wasn't the determining issue.
To go back to those points that Morris Yemma made earlier, he said that this Labor disease, as he sees it, is spreading to Canberra and that you are a part of that. Is the situation with state Labor spreading to Canberra?
Well, I think the people we have in Canberra now from New South Wales are of the highest possible calibre. And Tony Abbott has said this. It was the New South Wales campaign federally that actually helped save the day here. We held on to seats. We held on to seats that people thought we were going to lose. And we held on to them. When
things got tough for Labor in Canberra, you did what the New South Wales Party always does, which is you changed leader. It was that churn and burn mentality, as John Faulkner has described it.
Well, people in the caucus don't take those sort of decisions lightly. They don't. The decision was made, and we're moving forward in terms of the policies that we committed to and also the policies we're actually delivering on the ground right now.
Is it though evidence that the way you do things in New South Wales is becoming the way things are done in Canberra?
Look, the past is the past and people can go back and debate it. What we're doing is getting on with our jobs. That's what the federal party is focused on. If we've learned anything from this state campaign, it's really focus on the things that matter, and that is focusing on the electorate, and that is what we're intending to do, and that's what we're doing.
Senator Mark Arbib, thank you for coming in.
Thanks, Lee.